1 minute? Okay.
Well, I'm gonna do just compared to this one right here, it's getting better. And of course,
The hammer of justice.
Okay, you may proceed.
Okay. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the September 8th, 2025 regular monthly meeting of the Bloomingdale Special District. Let the record reflect the meeting starts at 6:31 p.m. because the office manager may be a minute late tonight. Trustees President, Leach Kermeyer, Woodbine Schrager, White, Jen Zaratsky, you know Trustees Zaratsky. And as we have several members of the public here tonight, if you would like to address the board, please stand up, state your name, your local address, and you may have 3 minutes.
Okay, Susie Watts, 3615 Bull Creek Drive. I have a candy in my mouth, so
Did you bring enough for everyone?
I do have them in my car. You know I always start on the candy. Same as when we did them here. I have 3 things. Thank you. I think you guys are working on those signs for Bloomingdale at Garnett, and then that whole corner needs to be redone at
You'll hear about all that later on.
Perfect, thank you. Second, tomorrow is when the county gets back to us whether they're, what feedback they have, not to us, but about the rezoning of the land near Chimina. So tomorrow we get to find out if they say it's consistent or inconsistent and recommend it. So that's a big day. Based on that will be what happens. I got a call today. This is the news. Anne Marie Lincoln, who's Hillsborough County Real Estate Division Director. So she's kind of a big deal. Did you hear me?
Yeah, a little bit.
Anne Marie Lincoln, Hillsborough County Real Estate Director, called me today. Just north of the proposed rezoning property is an additional close to 12 acres, 11.85 acres that Hillsborough County owns because somebody didn't pay their taxes. So Commissioner Miller and Commissioner Zepeda said, what are we doing with that property? So what they're going to probably do is in October, they're going to have an informational meeting. They're going to do the same sign things that they did with the other. It's probably going to be at Chimino, and they want our input. So I already said, flooding, and she said that they've already looked at it for a 100-year flood and 500-year flood. So maybe that helps, doing the 500 also, I don't know. So I just wanted to make you alert that there may be a meeting in October regarding land, and it borderlines Oakcrest, the south edge of Oakcrest, Quailbriar. It's right there. My friend actually lives there. They've had problems with homeless, so I went ahead and let her know that we've had problems with homeless there and trash left by homeless. And she says, well, that's the feedback we need, because if we do anything with that property, then we'll want to make it, if it's a park, let's say, dusk to dawn, perhaps fence it in. So they want our input. So just be alert that that's coming.
But would that impact the new development? Oh, it's totally separate.
It's separate, but we at least, oh, and the third thing, or fourth thing, we had asked about maybe a running track in Bloomingdale West, and they said no. So, I'm getting nowhere. That's my update.
Okay.
I'm in their trouble.
I won't be speaking.
Sir, just sorry. Your name is
Joe,
Joe? Are you a resident?
do I have to be?
Nope.
It's just a question.
I don't have to answer the question, sir.
Okay.
I'm just observing.
Did you
Did you
sign it?
sign it?
I didn't sign it either. You want me to sign it?
I will do that.
For those of you that don't know, Kevin is an employee of the Potomac Land Company, the company that is proposing redevelopment of the 11 acres. Okay, let's move on to my report. we slid mine, I'm sorry, my bad. Has everyone had a chance to look over the August 11th regular meeting minutes? Are there any additions or corrections to the minutes? Hearing none, I entertain a motion to approve.
Make motion.
Second. Motion by trustee Ratchett, seconded by trustee Jones. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Recommended motion passes 7 votes to 0. Mr. Hayes.
All right, good evening, everyone. This is the first board meeting I think we've had in a little while where it wasn't pouring outside. This is the August financial statements here, so we'll go over the balance sheet as usual. First, we have on here the Regions Bank account. The reconciled balance at the end of August was $29,419, and the reconciled balance in the prime account is $461,550 at the end of August. So that is the balance sheet side. When looking at the income statement side, we only have a few things here that I want to point out to the board. There is no revenue coming in. That's not really something to point out. We do have interest income on here at the top. The first line item, 3013.61. We did get $1,925 in interest income for the year, which brings our year-to-date pretty close to what the annual budget amount is going to end up being. Of course, we got one more month in the fiscal year. On the expenditure side, really only a couple things here I want to point out. We do have some consulting expense, mainly engineering costs. This is on 3031.10 for the month, so that's higher than what it is for the monthly allotment, but it's obviously much lower than what it is for year-to-date, so we don't have a lot of expenses in that category. A little bit further down the list on 3046.82, this is electrical parts and supplies. We did have some expense there, $4,224. Those are for solar lights. And, well, I did skip over one. A little bit further back up again, we did have some landscape replacement costs during the month of August, 3046.23 for landscape replacements. And that's $13,794. So even with that expense right there for the month of August, year to date, we're still pretty far below what the annual budget amount was for landscape replacements. It's in that fourth column, it's only at $117,815 basically, versus the annual amount of $141,000. And that is basically it. We've got one more month to go. We are pretty far below what our annual budget is. If you look at the year-to-date column at the very end, it's $820,516 basically, and that is much lower than what our annual budget is by about $200,000. So I doubt we're going to end up spending $200,000 a month in September, so we should be all right. And that is it. That's all I wanted to point out to the board, unless anybody has any questions on anything.
Good.
Quick question. This Alex Rourke consulting, what's that for?
That was for engineering related to the rezoning.
That was the traffic.
Right. Other questions for Michael?
You posted on the website.
No.
Hearing none, is there a motion to approve the financial report?
Make a motion to approve the financial report?
Yes, that's what it is.
Motion by trustee Schrader, seconded by trustee White. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Record collect motion passes 7 votes to 0. Rich, why don't you jump to the front of what I was going to do? Let me give you a little background. This is kind of a one-off. You're aware of the wall situation in that tree at Green Hollow and Bell Shoals. Glenhaven and Bell Shoals. The big tree that's pretty much going to push the wall out and fall over on the wall or what have you. It's going to be quite a little project to get the wall back around that tree. The arborist has looked at it and the tree is healthy, so the county won't issue a permit to remove it. So we're going to have to work around the tree. One of the things that we have the opportunity to do, and you may recall, those of you that have been with us for a while, is we looked at sort of rebranding a little bit, restyling the signs on the entryways. This is a good opportunity to start doing that because we're going to have, the old sign is not usable. So we're going to have to put a new one up here. This would be the first one if we do it differently. What I asked Rick to do is show you a few designs and get your thoughts on these. I won't tell you which one I like. I'll let you all take a look and we can talk about it.
I have to switch back and forth between email.
What I did note, is that based on our previous discussion, Rick, we have a couple of entry walls that are curved, so doing a curved sign is not out of the question. I honestly think curving the wall would look better than having it look like a Cybertruck.
And even that one, it's got the curve in the survey shows that.
Yeah.
That radius curve there, so, yeah.
We're essentially going to have to move the wall out a few feet away from that tree. It's still on the property line because the property line extends through the wall. We're going to have to move that out and around the wall around that tree. And then I told Rick, well, and Brandon, you want to, before Patrick puts that wall up, we're going to cut all the limbs off that tree that hang over the wall onto the right of way. Because if that sumbitch falls over, it's going to fall not on our wall and not into traffic. It's going to fall somewhere else. Pardon my.
Do we have enough room to allow it to grow so that we're not talking
Yes.
about this in a couple of years? Okay.
And this is with understanding, this is a one-time good deal. If anything happens to that wall because of that tree, we're going to pay this to the homeowner.
And then I know there were a lot of like boxes on it and stuff like that.
We're gonna move them down and around the corner.
There's a little
So they
notch.
won't, if there's another problem with the wall and the tree, it won't impact that stuff.
Well, not if there's a problem with the new wall on the tree, if there's a problem with the wall down the way, then, you know.
Right, sure. But
And plus, it'll
it'll be a separate problem.
and it'll be less noticeable, that's
Okay.
the
There's
biggest.
a little, if you come in Green Hollow, well, as you go out, right before you get to the light, there's a little cut-in notch there. We're going to put the boxes
Oh, it's like a
there.
little utility closet.
So they're out of the way.
Yeah.
That's probably what it was designed for.
And the thing is, he's ready to do the wall, he's got, the survey's done. The only question is, what kind of sign we're gonna use? Because if we use a sign that has weight to it, all right, like a lot of signs will use slabs of granite or something like that, then the engineering for that wall is gonna be slightly different than it would if it's just got tile on it or single letters like that, or, you know. So we need to have that decision made so that he can finish the engineering and get it permitted.
I'll give you a hint. Granite is not one of the options we're considering. So I wouldn't want to tangle with the county over permitting that anyway. But no, that would be way too costly.
Most of these signs that you see here, I can't remember for certain, are all in Hillsborough County. So these are likely something that we won't have any permitting issues with, because we are looking to increase the height of that wall. Most of those walls are between 5.5 and 6 feet. All right, so we're looking to go to like probably 8 feet for the entrance wall, just because it looks better and it, you know, is warranted at an entryway like that. And we don't think we'll have any problems getting that from the county.
So these are your four sign styles. Do you have a thought? If you look at Cross Creek, that's probably the closest to what we have now. So I wanted to throw that in there. And then the others are, and don't confuse what the wall looks like with what the sign and the lettering looks like.
I like Cross Creek because to me, it's the most readable. You just glance at it, you got it. Whereas the other ones, a little more, not quite, they don't pop out as much.
Randy, what do you think? What do you like?
Well, the thing I like about Cross Creek is most consistent with our current standard. But it's also the thing I sort of least like, because it's least consistent with what we talked about sort of evolving. Right? So, like, if this is a chance to sort of start us on the path of updating our standard.
Hold on a second.
Yep.
Something about that?
Can you repeat all in your things?
Sure, yeah. What I like most about the Cross Creek option is that it's similar to our current standard, so it's consistent with what we have currently. But that's also a little bit of a liability in my mind, because if we're going to look at this as an opportunity to start down the path of evolving the look and feel, that's not what we had talked about. solid color wall on the back, right? Same
Yeah,
color
it's
we
totally
have
up to you.
currently, right?
Yes. Yeah, we're not gonna, I don't wanna,
I really like the Montclair thing, to be honest with you, with the inset, and I don't know, that's probably creates the issue you were talking about with the additional weight.
I don't think so, it's not that big.
Pretty superficial, right?
Yeah, and that's, I don't even know what that is.
Just got a little bit of a superficial recess, right?
What is that? That's probably just stucco.
yeah.
I like it too, put the logo up top.
Yeah, I mean, that would be no problem at all. If that is stucco, and I think that's what that looks like, then, that'd be no problem.
I like that one the best. I also like the contrast of colors with the darker
That looks
background.
nice.
Lee?
Yeah, I know, it's good, I like the fact that it can be planted as well. Coming from Bloomingdale, the lithium pine crest has the entrance with the foliage that comes.
And with the wall being up and the sign being up higher, you don't have to worry about what you plant below there so much because it won't impede your view. You'll be able to see the sign. And we're going to keep electric lighting on it for now. I think we could try solar at some point, but I don't think solar's not going to work until the sun comes around in the afternoon. And there's still trees around that area that are going to block the light. So I think we're going to need to stay with electric on this one.
Which is consistent with what we talked about, is we didn't talk about subbing out all solar, we just talked about when we have to replace,
Right.
then we'll do solar. So as long as it's already set there.
Once we trim the limbs off that tree, we'll see how much more light we get there. And that may help. We can decide at that point. I just wanted to just make sure you were aware of that. Christine, what do you like?
I like the cross creek, but I think it's too close to what we have. I like the aisles. I think it's simple. And it's kind of modern, but it's very different than anything we have.
That one I believe is tile.
So that would be glossy or something, or
Well,
I would.
Sometimes they are.
That, but.
Yeah,
that
you
does
can
look
tell,
shiny,
you
yeah,
can
I
see
like
the
shiny
reflections on
that
that.
one.
That's nice, I mean, that looks nice.
That looks like obsidian or granite, polished marble.
Looks like somebody's gonna have to polish them all the time.
Yeah, but you can see that they're tiles, they're not slab, it's not a slab.
Right.
So we could do that and then just not pay the landscaper every month. We could do the whole community.
I could have the off-duty deputies around my working parties.
There you go.
The juveniles, who are in the park today.
Other thoughts?
I think it was low, right, discount.
Of course you do.
I like.
It's a nice
I like
all
the
four.
there. I do it's funny because Randy, you all use the same reasoning that I did. It is simple. It gives you the opportunity to put that nice V up there. And it is different.
Which way?
That way.
Okay.
Would you consider the B, put the little trees there and then Bloomingdale?
No.
We're getting rid of the trees.
We're gonna do a new B and that tree that Martin designed. The one we threw up there a little while ago. That's been sitting in gathering dust for 5 years now.
Where would you put the tree in there? If you put the
Well,
B on top?
I don't know. It's a good question.
You couldn't put that
We're not gonna use the B, we use.
Or we could use the B at the beginning and put the tree where the end.
Or you could put the B's on the columns, right, and a tree in the top?
We're not gonna build columns.
What?
We're not gonna build columns.
Oh,
It's a stucco wall.
You need to build the B.
columns.
So that one would be minus those two ledges, the columns on each side of it with those little ledges.
Oh, yeah.
And it wouldn't have like that little wall in the front.
Yeah, this is not, we're not gonna.
It's basically just a flat
It's
wall.
what sign,
with
what
a
sign's
hole
going,
in it that
what
says
sign's going on
Montclair.
the wall?
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
Okay, so this was digging back into the recesses of your memory. And Genesis half design something.
I have another one.
So could we put LEDs on it? The ellipse?
That's the B.
There's the tree.
Yeah.
larger than all the other letters, like that representation. But I feel like it would have to be two completely different fonts, like the B would have to be the fancy B, and then the rest of Bloomingdale would have to be,
That's right,
right?
correct.
To show the difference in the fancy B.
Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's a cleaner version of it.
That's
Yeah,
something, and
there you
then, the tree would be in the middle, with the iron in.
I like that idea.
Would the tree be green? Or would the tree be brown, the lettering?
Well, the tree and the lettering can be any color we want them to be. We can do this,
But that would be an oval. It would be inset in
in
the
the
oval.
picture that
and
you
then it
have,
would
you
be-
could use the dark background and the lighter lettering, or a lighter background and the darker lettering. I would tend to go for the darker background and the lighter lettering.
Yeah, because then the wall is gonna stay the same wall color
And when
that it
there's
is.
light on, it'll light up.
Right,
It'll look really good.
right,
I see what you're saying, though, like the tree up here will be a circle white or green.
right,
Rest of it, another color.
right.
Yeah.
I mean,
Sort of
it could
highlight
be
the tree.
okay, yeah. And I do think like the walls are gonna stay the same color they are now, right? That would be-
Right.
And then the inset would be dark, and then the letters would be a lighter color.
Similar to the wall color, probably.
Right, and then that would give you your contrast.
Now, you know what else you could do, and you guys were talking earlier, is green. You can make that wall dark green, I think.
No.
No? Okay, or not.
Yeah, because every bird in the community will find that dark green wall.
Would we have the lines in it? The horizontal lines?
Well,
As
that
part of
would,
the design,
that would
that's
be
up to
totally
us.
up to you. That would be something that the mason could do or would not have to do.
Well, if we select this one, can we get some sort of a prototype, 2 or 3 different ones to look at and pick?
Yeah, with different colors and different fonts and things like that. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, because the rush you said is if we're going with something that's.
Well,
gonna be
as long as,
structured.
if you make that decision that this is the one, you're just not sure on colors and styles and things, that's fine, we can proceed with the wall, because now we know the engineering that needs to be done. Yeah,
And he's gonna, that's stucco and concrete, so that would just be, there's nothing to hang. It's built into the wall.
well, those letters are attached somehow, I don't think those
It's
are,
not an
Okay.
structure.
Okay.
and the lines and,
It's not like the wooden ones we have hanging on there now that we have to take down and paint and put back up.
I'm not sure, and I will tell you that that has always been a concern that I've had over many years about using single letter signs is, you know, Tom likes that T in his bedroom and he goes up and pries it off, you know, I mean, that's a concern that you have to be conscious of too.
Can they do it right with the wall material?
I
Just
don't,
raise it and.
I mean, that's a block wall, so I
But
don't,
I mean, just like with stucco or something?
Yeah, but then they'd have to, you also have to carve
I'm not sure.
it.
Well, then we could, if we did it in aluminum, you
Yeah.
pretty much have to mold it.
Yeah, aluminum is electrified.
Well, don't we have individual letters hanging on the one wall like on hand?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, why don't we do this? If you're all in agreement that that is kind of D1, give me till next month to bring you back different options and find out how that, you know, whether those are individual letters mounted on there. I'm sure that's not poured concrete in there, but I mean, you know, I don't know that for a fact, so,
It's expensive.
yeah. Let me do some checking and come back to you, and I can come back to you with different colors, styles, fonts, and things like that as well. Okay?
Thanks.
Cool.
I like it. I think it's good.
I think that was nice. Yeah.
And it doesn't seem like something that's going to, like, I think it's something we can move forward with on other entryways over time because it's relatively simple.
Yeah.
Hopefully based on the designs you bring back.
Yeah.
There's nothing overtly over flashy or.
In fact, I mean, if that's a local Hillsborough sign, Tom, you may be able to just run up and look at it wherever it's at, you know what I mean?
Okay.
And I'll do some checking and figure that out.
Questions for Rick?
I have a question.
What?
I have,
Oh, question.
Questions for Rick?
I have one.
Is that in the floor or anymore?
Yeah, that's what he's doing tonight. I wanted to bring him to the front. I know you've got other obligations tonight.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was just, at one point, there were gonna be aluminum signs that were cut out with a light behind them because nobody could destroy the aluminum.
The county won't let us do that.
Okay,
The county
I
wants-
just remembered
We-
that,
we-
and I was trying to think durability, because I know that was the big thing there.
Back in the day, it looked possible, but
It's been,
probably not.
okay,
Probably not now.
thank you for letting me know.
Good.
Thank you, sir.
All right, go Bears.
We're gonna discuss the monument later, so I'll follow up with
Okay.
based on the discussion.
Okay, and Tom, you're gonna, well, never mind.
Yeah, I'll talk to you.
Okay, all right, have a good night, y'all.
Take care. All right. Let's move into my report. We touched on the signs for Rosemead. We're working on those brands. You're gonna spot and line and level and pictures.
No, I talked to John, and he's like, I'll straighten it out, just let me know where you want it to go. So I'm gonna get some flags and just kind of put them in the spots. I feel like it should be quite.
Use your judgment. Yeah, it is pretty simple. Those will be, the signs that go back on Rosemead will be the ones that you're used to seeing now. We'll tackle those one at a time, because the new one's not ready for prime time anyway.
Those are actually signs that were removed before the construction.
Well, one of them was destroyed. We talked about the wall repair and it's in Glenhaven. Just so you all know, because I talked to Michael about this last week, we hadn't gotten an invoice from Artemis from all the way back to April, which is why if you look in the financials, there was no invoicing. So we squared that away over the last week, and they launched all 5 months worth of invoice status. So we'll pay those, and that takes us up to date and all that. I think they were just catching up to us, and I asked a question about the invoices. So anyway, that's taken care of. Steve Alvarez is not here. He attended our last couple of meetings. He's the new president of the HOA at Preston Woods, and he had asked about getting some assistance working on refurbishing their entryways. So I swapped a couple of emails with him over the last week. I wasn't sure if he'd be here tonight. What I told him was if you use your green team to do the landscaping in front, like we do with other communities, your green team would, I'm sure, be happy to extend the district's pricing to you. You have to pay for that, and that's something that he needs to work out with your green team. He asked about if we could help him at least get the island started. We don't typically maintain islands, but I asked him to go ahead and get an estimate. Let's see what it looks like. And maybe we'll give him a starter set of plants, and then they can take it from there. But I wanted to see what it's going to cost, and I don't want the district to be doing their work. But anyway, working with Steve, and that's on its way. You may recall last month was the zoning master hearing for the rezoning application for the lot south of Chimino. That was very well attended. We had 46 people, I think. We topped out at 46. A couple had to leave early. We had 46 people show and stayed all night. For those of you that didn't go, and we have representatives from the company here, they wanted to postpone, and the hearing master decided not to let them do that. So we presented our case, they presented their case, and the decision on that is due tomorrow. There were some other things that I will talk about, but I won't now, because some of this is attorney-client privilege, and I'm not going to put it on the record. The next meeting, if it goes to the county commission, another item. No, we're going to skip that. Okay, that's that. Questions for me?
Yeah, real quick on Artemis, when we did that transition, was any, I guess we signed a new contract Rick, or how that transition?
No, what we agreed to do, and I worked with the attorneys to take what was in place with Rick and essentially just transfer it over. And Rick was on an extension, so we have Artemis on contract until next summer, I believe, 2026. And then we have to recompete.
No additional cost?
But no, everything was the same, it's just pick it up from here and put it down everywhere now. And they were just, I'm assuming just getting caught up on the books and everything just took a little time. But all those invoices are in, take them all. Are you gonna cut one check for all that in the end, or are we gonna do individuals?
It's in there, it's one check,
Okay.
and then the
It's
September
in
check will be, the September check will be cut
Randy's got.
Range out.
at the end of the month.
You can sign.
Okay. Yeah,
Okay.
I just have to transfer the money on that.
I think Charlie's already done that.
Questions, any other questions for me? Okay, so the property manager, Brianna.
Okay, so we'll start with the walls. The green marked wall is in the process of being repaired. The Springville wall has been boarded, but I'm still waiting on an estimate from Patrick. The signs, we already talked about Rosemead, that's really only updated half the signs. The landscaping and irrigation, Somerset, North Broadway entrance has the 2 dead trees. Your green team has been contacted and they're working on a proposal. We have the lights, the flagpole solar light. Rick is working on it, but he told me today that's going to take about 3 to 6 months to get that prototype going. So I wasn't sure if you guys wanted Morningstar to just go ahead and,
I got a quick,
yeah.
if I can make a comment.
Yeah.
Okay. I thought about this, when Green Hollow was not down at the base. So, when we first started solar lights, we had one at Glen Haven that was mounted on the pole.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's probably getting flagged up and down, blah, blah, blah. So my thought is, we still have that one, but on Green Hollow, and mount to the wall, mount to the pole, below where the thing is to lower the flag, so it's not away. So you put the light facing up towards the flag, and you have the panel facing the sun. I think you could mount it at the base of the flagpole, and we'll just see how that works. I mean, if we already got it, I'll give it a try and see what's happening.
Am I correct in remembering that initially the issue with the uplights was because we had external lanyards, but now we have internal lanyard, right?
Yes.
So, I mean, does it make sense to revisit that? Like,
Well, the problem was when you had it down up here, where it's supposed to bring the flag down, where he had it mounted about halfway.
yeah.
So now I'm saying, just drop it down below where you sit there and you crank down
Yeah,
the
so,
flag.
so we're talking about an uplight again, right?
Yeah, okay, good.
Yeah, I think it just,
Yeah. And actually, that look,
I like the
I
idea of the
yeah.
downlights, but I don't really
Yeah.
care for it.
I mean, if we already got it,
Yeah.
let's put it on, try it, and see what it looks like.
Why not? And if it doesn't work, we just have Morningstar connect.
Yeah.
Alright.
And see if they get us a little bit stronger light than the one that's on Glen Haven. I mean, that's just a lot of,
Yeah.
you wanna need something, yeah.
Well, Rick said he really wants it to be well illuminated, and I think the one he's working on is still a downlight.
Yeah.
I think the problem with a downlight is you see the light and you barely see the flag.
Yeah.
When it's uplit, you're not seeing the light until it reflects onto the surface of the flag, which.
Well, see if you'll do the, right above the little keyhole print thing. Okay, then we have the Fairway Manor entrance lights, they've been replaced with solar, that happened last weekend. Then we have the Somerset Bloomingdale Cove fixtures. I got a proposal from Morningstar because they're out on each side of the Allwood, right?
The north side.
So it's like $607 to do both, because the Bloomingdale Cove and Somerset, both their lights are right across from each other. And I reached out to Rick this afternoon to get the solar proposals. And then we had a broken sidewalk on Colbreth south of the baseball fields, and right now it's cautioned off.
I saw that. What, do you know what happened?
No, Keith thinks that it's like a truck went up there and broke the sidewalk. I have no idea.
Okay.
Do you
That's-
know what
No, I have no idea. That's as good a story as anybody's.
So they fixed the irrigation, I reported to the county, of course, they said that it was on their backlog.
Of course.
But I told them that it was emergent and they're gonna reassess it again, but it takes about 14 days to re-inspect. Then the Tico wrap that we talked about last month. So I personally don't know if I like this answer, but I spoke with Tony because she was taking care of it, and she talked to somebody at Tico, and I just have her phone number, I didn't get a name. But he said we're not gonna be able to wrap the Tico boxes because the numbers need to be shown. But in my opinion, well, can you wrap the Tico box to keep the numbers visible? So I called them today and left a message, and I haven't got a return.
Well, how about if they take care of the wrapping, I'll go down to Ace and I'll buy a bunch of those little numbers and I'll stick them on there myself.
You better get it back around.
It's not that hard.
No, so that's why Rick's motto is always, no means maybe, and maybe means yes. So I'm gonna
That's true.
try that with the county. So we'll see, to be determined, and that was it for my report. Does anyone have any questions?
Yes, ma'am. Remember last meeting, I brought up Green Hollow,
Yeah.
Orange Crest, and Nature's Lane.
I was hoping we could talk after the meeting, because I looked at the PowerPoint slide again today, and I just want to make sure I have it right before I tell Patrick to go ahead, because that was one of Tony's things that she was working on too. So if we can connect after the meeting, I'll.
Well,
okay.
I don't know, we probably discuss it now.
Right now?
Sure, go ahead.
Yep, okay. So is it Green Hollow started at Nature's Way to Orange Crest?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Yeah. I would say you strip it all the way down and paint it.
Okay.
So because there's a lot of dead, and whatever down to the.
Chipping paint.
Yeah, paint it
Yeah.
along, so.
Okay.
They have on both sides of Green Hollow, I just drove down there today,
Yeah.
and down right before you get to those shoals, it's really chipping.
Yeah.
And everything looks really bad on there. Get one section done first.
I'm afraid we're gonna have to do some major tree work to eliminate the problems we have there in the long term. We're gonna have to do some tree work first and then look at what can we do with those walls. Because I think the overhang, the shade, that just holds everything in. And plus the roots destroy everything else.
And you guys use your green team for tree trimming, right? Not a third?
No, we use, B&G and,
Okay.
Well, depending on how big the job is, if it's a really big job, you have to put it out for bid. Smaller jobs, we usually go with B&G, but keeping in mind that you're usually pretty backlogged, so it won't necessarily be something that happens right away.
Well, the hurricane took out a couple of oak trees closer to Bell Shoals on the sidewalk side. It's not the median, but the sidewalk side, which really was nice. Messed up the sidewalks, but it cleared it out and don't put anything back there.
I think getting the fig off
And get the
and
thing
then
on.
all cleaned up and painted, just in and of
Well,
itself.
that's certainly a good start, and then we can see how that does and go from that. 'Cause I'm not trying to say we need to spend a fortune when something just needs to be painted. But I think long-term, over the course of the next couple of years, we're gonna have to go down there and just clean it out.
So do we want Patrick to look at all of Green Hollow instead of just that one section?
Why don't we look at all of it and then we'll break it into sections,
Okay.
and we can see, just based on what he tells us, do we do a section at a time, or do we want to try to do it all?
Okay.
And if any of the fig is sellable, if we can transplant it at the tree line drive. Nice process. The green hollows where we talked about putting turf down too is a possibility at some point, right?
Yeah, we're not gonna do that. We're not gonna do that. That was-
There's already peanut grass there in the medians, and it looks really nice.
I think the peanuts doing decent.
Yeah, we don't need to put artificial turf down there, that's not.
We got a
I'm
quote,
not
and
remembering
it
that was a
was-
conversation.
It was a
I remember
conversation,
that.
and then until we priced it and you realize, yeah, we got better
It's
things
like
to do.
80, it was expensive. Okay.
One other place I noticed, the entrances to Oak Crest Gotham The walls on both of those, it looks like they could use a little touch-up, and I want to say the sign on the western side of Gotham may need a little paint as well. I know we did the entrance, we did new plantings here, but I think the walls need a little bit of, a little touch-up.
Yep. Any other
Anything else for Brad? Okay.
Thank you.
Thanks, Brad. We got that. Let's go to community reports. Budget.
In my report, it outlined significant energy terms. So
My report?
that was all the remaining stuff in the fiscal year we're just going to take money for.
Roll it over.
That's all.
Okay, contracts.
Nothing to report.
Tax roll.
Nothing to report.
Holiday decor.
Nothing to report.
Good.
They did get the banners up and they look
Yeah,
nice,
oh, yeah.
as usual. Security.
We're on the new system now, officer track for the Hillsborough County Sheriff's Office in terms of scheduling off-duty deputies. I think, Miriam, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think everything looked like it's working fine. Deputy Buswell now has access to do scheduling, so he can manage it like he had been previously, so that we're not too involved with it, but we have a view into it, obviously. I think the next test of it will be when we see an invoice. And then we'll see how well it's working. But for the most part, I think it's going to be not really disruptive at all. So.
I just got a new schedule from them today.
Okay.
That clearly Deputy Buswell entered.
Yeah, I think there was just, like, we were alerted, but then there was a several-week delay before they engaged with coordinators. And so I was under the impression we were going to have to be a lot more hands-on, and it doesn't appear to be the case.
Well, I plan to have a conversation with you about what I found out from them, but
Okay.
since we never got to talk.
Okay.
And you went in and tried it out, I just let it play out, so
Okay.
it seems to be okay.
All right, good. All right, well, I'll touch base with you after the meeting then, see if there's anything else. So that's it on that. Unless there's any questions about that.
I'm going to come back to you in a moment because I passed myself talk about landscaping and capital improvements. Brianna, what I'd like to do is when we get past threat of hurricanes, I'd like to go around the county. We've had quite a few trees removed in the community, dead trees. And now in some areas, especially along Nature's Way, we've got visible gaps. And I think we need to plant something. So I want to identify the where and then talk about the what.
So easement planting.
Yeah. And then I want to revisit, and you need to hold me to this one too. Let's revisit the medians on Nature's Way. There's potential there, but I don't think we haven't realized the potential. And I've gone back and forth with what to do there with no irrigation. But I think we can do something. We can't put trees in there, but we can put something, even if it's sections of time that's low lying enough. So let's get into like November, December, and let's talk about that a little bit.
Okay.
Okay, I know what you want to talk about, so let's go back to Randy, because you're talking about the memorial.
Yeah, real quickly, so I'm working with the CTE department head at Bloomingdale High School on some design ideas. And I passed out, apologies, but there's just 3 to look at if you guys can share it. This is not for us to choose a design, but for me to be able to go back to them with a little bit of validation that, yeah, you guys are on the right track, or to clarify some things or add some more. I didn't want to specify too much because I wanted them to be creative. I told them, you know, if you come up with something that's just too big, we can scale it down. One thing came up was like a reflecting pool, and I said, well, no, nothing with water, please. So, but other than nothing, all the ideas they shared, but it's really, like I said, just to, are we on the right track? And I think from what I've read, I think those are all interesting and worth, you know, so I plan to kind of reinforce it we look forward to it. I've had a little bit of difficulty coordinating up to this point. My hope was that he would be able to show up tonight, but he wasn't feeling well. So I originally asked if he could, we could maybe make a selection of the design as early as next month. I don't know exactly how much time we have because we haven't engaged an actual, producer of the monument. So we have to probably figure out a little more to know what kind of timeline is viable. But if we want to look at design concepts or even have them come in and present as early as October we could, or maybe schedule it for November if we think that would be adequate. Likely what would happen is whatever concept we liked, we'd probably have to connect the student with the company we were going to select to do it, and they could actually turn, concept into reality, I suppose.
Well, I would recommend, you may want to look for a vendor to see what they can do versus what's proposed to do. Take one concept and get out here and say, well, we can't do that, or maybe it's too hard, so I think we can engage, I don't know, property manager can do that, or.
Well, that would be why it might be helpful to have a little more time. If I could get him here, if we have the time, I could have him come next month. We could talk through more, and then we could set up an actual review of design concepts and maybe that. But I don't want to put us up against the deadline. Obviously, we need to launch it next September. That's the deadline.
I think we're pushing if we don't do it. Because if I remember last time we started looking at this, we were talking about 6 or 8 months lead time. And that's after we select a vendor. So if we're talking about September, we have to have this thing underway by January.
Yeah, so maybe we need to do it concurrently, right? So we can identify a vendor at the same time that we're evaluating design concepts. So,
The vendor obviously is going to be, we're going to have to decide what type of monument it's going to be, like, granite, not granite, but,
Like granite, metal, wood, plastic, tin, right? You get to pick up.
or a reflecting pool of water in it.
Well, I know we're limited, it can't be any more than 6 feet high, and it's probably going to be about 5 by 5 at the base, 4 by 4, 4 by 5 at the base, based on the area we've got to work with. But it can't be any higher than 6 feet because we don't want some obstruction. The people that live back there don't want to look at that.
Right. Yeah, and we're going to want to light it too, and we don't want it to bleed
Yeah.
into the backyard and stuff like that. But I do kind of feel like they can almost design it without regard to the size, and we can probably just scale it as appropriate for the space.
Do they have an idea of, have they been given
I
an
provided
idea
them,
of 5 by 5?
they have
by 6? Okay.
the graphic, the layout that Rick provided, and I shared with them, so. And we didn't necessarily want to tie our hands to any specific design, so we didn't do anything special with the pavers in terms of a foundation, so I think we got a lot of flexibility with that. So.
Brandon, did Rick talk to you about this very much when you all turned it over?
No, I can reach out to him.
That would be, because I know he looked at a couple of ideas, going back, I think, 2 years. When we were looking at doing this up by out of file, he looked into this, and then we scrapped it because the public schools said that they wanted too much, it wasn't going to work up there.
Yeah, Mary was telling me about that this morning.
So I don't know who he was talking to, artist-wise or building-wise, to do that. If you can find out, and then when you do USF, go to Florida, go to UCF, say, hey, anybody in your art department build this, or just I don't know, because we've never done anything like this before.
Because I think one of the things we need to decide pretty soon is what type of material we're going to use.
Are they going to tell us when they project this or present? They're going to tell us what they're going to make it out of, what they want to make it out of?
Yeah, I would expect that they would be able to share that. I don't expect them, like, they're going to have to meet with the actual manufacturer of monuments to, translate design to, actual production. But, yeah, I would anticipate that would be, we should expect that they would develop the idea to that level. So.
Yeah, maybe I'll come in with pretty much a standard monument with like Pentagon maybe something like an abstract, type of thing that, you know, it's a little bit thinking outside the box.
So I think that's what we're gonna get. I think, and I'm looking forward to reviewing those. I mean, if someone's got a basic, traditional, I don't have an issue with that, but I think we're gonna see some abstract thought go into it.
And then the question is, do we have enough flexibility with the space to potentially incorporate some more traditional, something maybe a little.
Well, you know what you could also do is get them all together, take them out there, and say, here's the space you have to work
I
on.
actually encourage him to take his students out there, so I don't know if he has or not, because I haven't had that conversation yet, so. But,
And then the hammer of justice, take it in.
exactly.
Get them out there.
So,
I'll take it, I'll take the hammer. Can I have a bigger hammer?
The cut, the aluminum.
Randy, those your ideas?
those were the ideas, I just asked, he asked for a little more guidance. And I said, I kind of gave you all the guidance I have, use your creativity. He said these are teenagers and they struggle with us. So he said, let me share with you what they got and you can get some feedback from the group.
Well,
And
it's
see if
probably
we're on
none
the
of
right
them
track.
were born.
I'm sorry?
They've all been born
Since
after
Yeah,
September 11th.
that's true, but they came up with some good, like, they obviously did their research, because they referenced some other memorials around the country, and the rescue dog, and 12 first responders that were credited with 1,000 lives saved, and some other stuff, so I thought, you know, we don't need more than 5 ideas,
Right.
quite frankly.
I like idea one, that lists all the elements of what you need.
I actually have,
If you,
it's kind of a, I just got it right before we came, so I put a 3 on a Word document.
if you need anybody to go to the school or meet with them or see if they have any questions or anything, I'm happy to do that.
Okay.
You know,
Yeah, sure.
well, I think teachers change
Since
now
you live
since I
that
was there.
closest to the,
But,
since you
or,
have to
and
drive by every
and
day.
I'm happy to meet them there if they want to come
Sure.
out, even if
Okay.
they want to come out at different times.
Randy, can you give me a copy of that for the minute?
Absolutely,
Thank you.
you got it. In fact, I can email it to you if you like.
That's fine.
So that's where we're at, so what I really want to know is, can I have until November for us to meet with them and have them present, so that we can develop it a little further and see where we're at with regards to monument producer, I guess, and then see next month. Is that all right?
All right.
Yeah, I mean, if they're ready to come in October, let's do it. If they're
Okay.
not, I mean, if they even got just the basic sketch.
Yeah, I think
to
the
come
sooner we
in
can
October,
get to it,
that
the
would
better we
be
have
awesome.
I think we want to keep it moving. As soon
Yeah,
as we
that's
get to
good.
an approval, the better we can get someone to start working on it. That's what the time
Sure.
is coming.
Okay, so I'll let them know, you guys, we're all kind of, yeah, they're on the right track. And if we can have a, you know, if you can create a PowerPoint or something, right, that's all they really need. They don't need to have a model or.
No. Even if they come in with an easel and butcher block paper
And
around,
I'll
which
see if
is
they can
kind of something that they probably haven't worked on.
Okay.
Explain your thought,
Yeah,
size.
show us what you're thinking.
And we can handle as many as 5, right? We'll just set the time limit appropriately for how long we're gonna take, so. Okay, very good. I'll shoot for getting in here next month then.
Yeah, I just don't want to run the short on time.
No, I agree, because, you know, whatever they provide is only a concept, it's not, there's gonna be a lot of work to do to turn it into an actual, you know, requirements.
So there's just, like I said, we're gonna have to find a vendor, like I said, coordinate with the vendor, come up with final designs, get approval. Yeah, it's gonna take us.
And you really can't until you get your medium, because the vendor's gonna only work with certain materials. It's gonna be material specific.
So I mean, if that one looks like it's a combination of grass and
So we probably don't want to
You
hear.
want something low maintenance.
Yeah, we don't want to have someone say the word paint in it.
Right. No, because you want to think about the maintenance going forward.
Or iron. I don't want to hear iron or paint.
Okay, great, thank you.
All right, real quick on 9/11 monument and benches. You're supposed to have benches like 2-3
We're
years.
supposed to have one in here that.
Yeah, so
I just signed a proposal for one. Rick calling about price because it looks like the price in the invoice was higher than what we had voted. We authorized, what, 9,000? Or
Yeah, but
9,000 for 5 benches.
That was last December.
Okay. So he's just gonna double check the price.
It slipped through the cracks.
So that's coming. What else? Community relations.
I don't know.
All right. There's no correspondence tonight, unless I missed something. Moving to old business. Is there any old business tonight?
Sidewalks, I just wanted to confirm that you guys got the photos I sent, a couple particularly bad sections and.
They all gone to Rick.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not,
Okay. No
Rick
problem.
is spearheaded
I
that.
just didn't wanna,
Somebody,
I did my map, I learned, it was a learning thing, but I did a map with 25 locations that had either addresses or coordinates of
okay.
where they are, and I tried not to, not all of them are in Somerset.
Did you get the
But I
ones
did, I
I
went
sent?
all over, I went Green Hollow, there was one, I mean, I
Would
was.
you like me to forward the ones I had?
No.
provided?
You can if you want, and I can put them on the map.
I mean, I got like one you could repel off.
Yeah, I know, I've got, I probably have that one up there.
Okay.
Send me, if they're addresses,
Sure, yeah.
send them to me, or if they're pictures, you can send them, and I'll get the
Yeah.
coordinates off them and see if I've already got them on the map.
this is for
This is in the entire
in
community.
the community.
I sent a list. Did you get my list from Windsor Woods?
I did not get your list.
I'm
But
sure
Rick
you
is
and I
only-
probably
but
had the
Rick
same
is-
ones.
Rick
It's
is,
all going to Rick.
yes, Rick is the
Okay.
one that's.
Okay, so it's all going
It's
to Rick.
the library house on the corner, right? Is that the one? Yeah, on Cold Creek.
Oh, that
Yeah,
one's
we got one
insane.
of those.
Oh my gosh. You could do cliff diving.
I actually went on every road I measured and I reported it a couple of years ago, so I already had the document and I sent it.
Those folks that came through Somerset,
Yes.
that's a one-off, right?
That was just for Somerset.
Yeah.
So after we started this, we found out last week that Somerset is on the list for fiscal year 26 for power sidewalks done. We've been waiting since 2012. So, we'll see.
Any other old business? Okay, moving into new business. You should have had with your paper tonight, a resolution I had drafted. For review, if you deem appropriate in submission. Has everyone had a chance to read through this?
Yes. We're done.
Are there any additions or corrections to this? What I would like to do is finalize this vote on it, and then I put space on the back for each of us to sign. Take a moment to look through it if you need to. General thoughts? If any.
I like it. I think it hits all the pertinent topics.
Questions, comments? It would be out of place for me to introduce a motion to approve, so
I make a motion to be accepted. What do we call this? This
right
document.
at the top of the page.
I can't read.
I make a motion that we accept the Bloomingdale Special Dependent District Opposition Rezoning Application 25-0802 as written.
Motion by trustee Kermeyer, for a second.
A second. You good? You got it.
Second by trustee Schrader. Is there further discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Record reflect the motion passes 7 votes to 0. If you don't mind, I will sign mine and pass it around.
Is yours double-sided?
It is
You want me to print both?
appropriate.
I don't know. just-
Yeah, folks, yeah, good. Yeah, we'll do it. Yeah, that's fine. cleaned up, yeah. It hadn't happened that way. Is there any other new business tonight? Hearing none, a reminder, our next check signing is on the 23rd. The end of the fiscal year is the end of this month. We will probably roll over a little bit more than we anticipated to roll over. And the next regular meeting is October 13th, and we'll do check signing then as well. Looking forward, our November monthly meeting is the 10th, which is the day before Veterans Day. Actually, I don't think we have any conflicts in the end of the year. Things are going to get fairly quiet.
I will not be here, I'll talk to you.
You want to do
Yeah, I'll be down.
You may ask.
The whole family.
The other, pass it. Oh, okay, I'm going to go back. I did one other, it's an item of old business, so I'm a little bit out of order here. To let you know that Brianna did contact the county, and we have our hurricane debris program in place again. Hopefully we won't need it. That's good to go the way we had it last year. We'll collect through your green team, dump it over there at the county site and it's not fine. So thank you for doing that.
Just don't tell homeowners. That was the
No.
caveat.
No, we'll.
No, I hear nothing. I hear nothing.
We're knocking on doors again.
And we can have your new team maybe pick up that branch.
Yeah, we can do that. Good to go. If there's no further, is there any other business tonight to be brought before the board? Hearing none, I'll entertain a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by trustee Schroeder, second by trustee Jones. All those in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed? Let the record reflect the meeting adjourns at 7:33.